In this segment, we're going to talk about some of the considerations involved in towing a coach this size. This coach is going to weigh about 28,000 pounds fully loaded. Empty, I believe it's like 23.3. So it's a fairly heavy coach. It is 44.5 feet long, and it has a lot of extra options on it, wood floors, so on. So there are some considerations about towing a coach this size, and that's what we're going to cover in this segment. Okay, this is an F550. It is the biggest tow vehicle in the pickup class, or what I call super pickup classes that Ford offers. The advantage of the F550 over the F450 is the rear axle. With the larger coaches, you have a lot of pin weight, and an F450 is limited on its rear axle weight. It just wouldn't ever come close to being able to tow my coach. So you have to go to an F550 if you're going to tow a really heavy coach with a Ford class vehicle. The disadvantage going to the F550 is the engine. They derate the horsepower and torque in the engine in the F550. It's the same engine as the 450, but the 450 actually has more horsepower and torque. So it performs a little bit better, especially in the mountainous west. This is, frankly, it's kind of a dog in the mountains, but it will tow quite a bit of weight. When you're considering a tow vehicle, you really want to consider how much absolute weight you're towing. And I would not necessarily go by the manufacturer's grossly inflated gross combined vehicle weights. When you have a situation where the tow vehicle is a lot lighter than the trailer, where there's a big difference between them, if you have to do a safety maneuver, swerve, cut lanes real fast, get into heavy crosswinds where you're really being blown back and forth across the lanes, you want a tow vehicle that is heavier than these pickups typically are. If you're towing a 20,000 pound coach, this works just fine. When you get up into the 22, 23 range, you really have to consider seriously what you're doing. And there are available options of other trucks that are better than this. We're going to look at a true medium duty truck next. And that would be a better choice for a heavier coach. On a heavier coach, this is a very good candidate for a tow vehicle. This is a true medium duty truck, and in this particular case, this is an M2 112, the 112 being the engine and transmission size. This is the heaviest duty medium truck that Freightliner makes. This is a very, very nice truck. It has a 2L bed on it. It has lots of horsepower and torque, comparable to a heavy truck, to a smaller heavy truck. So this is a very capable truck of pulling a coach my size, 44.5 or smaller. The disadvantages of this, unless you need the 4 doors, you don't have a condo in the back, you don't have a place to sleep, you don't have a place to sit in if you go out shopping for the day, that sort of thing. Most people do not need 4 doors. You can utilize the back of a heavy truck. You can put seating back there, that sort of thing. You just wouldn't have the windows like this, a big windows and a big door. This is a very nice truck. If you look at the Ford F550, you're in with the hauler bed on it, you're in the $75,000, $80,000 range, depending on what you buy and how you outfit it. If you look at a truck like this, brand new with this type of a hauler bed on it, you're in the $150,000 plus range. That's a lot of money. You can buy a lot of truck if you look at a heavy duty truck for that type of money. But this is a very, very nice truck. This is used as a daily driver by the owners. And you can see the short wheelbase, it's relatively short. You can use this as a daily driver. You could set up a heavy truck in the same fashion, short wheelbase, use as a daily driver. My Volvo 610 that I owned for 10 years, I used 3 years as a daily driver, 3+ years as a daily driver. It was 10 feet, 10 inches tall, and the only limitation really as a daily driver was the height. And really that was not much limitation. This truck is a little bit shorter than that, so it can go places that my Volvo 610 couldn't go. But the tractor, the heavy duty truck as a daily driver was a very good daily driver. Way more comfortable than my previous F550. It rode better, it turned better. It was just better suited in every fashion than the F550. Plus it towed quite a bit better. But this is a nice truck as a daily driver. It does not ride as good as the F550. It's a little harsher. It does not ride anywhere near as good as a heavy-duty truck. A Volvo 630 up through the Volvo 880s ride far better than this. They're really designed for different purposes. These trucks were originally designed for regional hauling, day type driving. They're not designed around driver comfort. The heavy tractors, heavy trucks are designed for the long haul. They're line haul trucks, they're over the road trucks, drivers live in them. They're really designed to be comfortable. So the original truck intent was different with this truck than the heavy tractor. This is my Volvo 780. We use this to tow my large 44.5-foot trailer. It tows it. It doesn't even know. I can't say it doesn't know it's back there, but it tows it very easily. This truck weighs about 20,000 pounds. So you can see the proportioning of the weight between the trailer and the truck is more close. So if I get into an emergency maneuver with this truck, it's going to handle a whole lot better than an F550 or an F450. In addition, it has huge brakes on it. It's designed to haul freight at 80,000 pounds. Actually, this truck is spec'd for 120,000 pounds. So it's really designed for heavy weights. It's a whole different world than the medium truck that you saw just before this, or the F550 or F450. And it lumped into the same category as the 550 and 450 are the Dodges, which actually are a better candidate if you're going to go into the lighter trucks. I would prefer a Dodge at this point in time, right now, over the Fords. They have more power and they have more weight carrying capacity. So if you're in a lighter trailer, take a look at the Dodges. But if you're in a heavier trailer, you really need to consider the virtues of a heavy truck. Now, one of the things we can do with this that you don't typically see a medium truck doing is we carry a car on it. You could set up a medium truck to carry a car. It can handle the weight. It's just not typically done. But we carry our smart car on the back deck, and it's easy to load and unload. You can get a hydraulic loader, or you can use ramps and a winch like we currently do. Both work very well. The hydraulic loader is a little more convenient, a little quicker. It takes us about 25 minutes to unload our vehicle or to load it. Actually, it takes about 25 minutes to load it. It takes about 15 minutes to unload it because you don't take the winch out. We drive it off. I was hesitant about the Smart. I wasn't sure I would like driving it as a daily driver. I had a Jeep before that. But if you don't want to go off-road, if you're primarily on road, the Smart really is a nice vehicle. You're not going to carry 4 people. It is very safe. It's very comfortable. I'm 6'2". I weigh about 210. I have friends that are 6'4", 6'6", that weigh in the 300 range, and they drive the Smarts as well. So there really is no issue about size of person in the Smart. It works very well. I drove the Smart on 2 1,000-mile trips this summer, and it was fine on the interstate cruising at 75. No issues at all. If you get into heavy crosswinds, you can feel it for sure. You got to slow down to about 65, but at 65, it's just fine. This truck is the largest condo that Volvo makes, the condo being the part from here to here. This is a 77-inch condo. It's very livable. It's like a mini motorhome, and in fact, this truck is titled as a motorhome in Texas, which you can easily do in Texas and in most other states. We can live in this truck. I can live in this truck alone indefinitely and comfortably. The only thing it doesn't have is a shower. I can use truck stop showers, campground showers. We take this truck, put the Smart on it, go away for a weekend, go away for a week. With 2 people and a dog, it's comfortable for a week. After that, it gets a little tight. Depends on how much you're in the truck. On a rainy day, it's going to feel tighter. But these trucks are designed for drivers to live in on the road. Drivers hauling freight are away for a month at a time in some cases and don't ever get home, so they're living in the truck. It's designed for driver comfort. It's designed to be easy to drive. It's very comfortable to drive. It's almost rides like a car. It rides far, far, far better than the medium truck or the F450, F550 class truck. Has all the amenities of a modern vehicle. It does not have a clutch. It has an automated transmission. The transmission does have a clutch, but it's all under computer control. You have no clutch pedal. It does its thing. You put it in the drive, you drive it. It's set up quite a bit differently than the older Gen 1 Volvos, which were in the early 2000s range. This is a 2009, and it's really designed for a woman to drive. Danielle is 5'1". She had trouble driving the 610 simply because of the driving position and the way the seat had to be and that sort of thing. This one, she's right at home in. So a short person can drive this very easily. The truck is very smooth on the road. You're up high, you can see everything. Some people say that they're concerned about no windows back here. It's not like a regular automobile where you can see all around you. That's what these mirrors are for. You can see really good. See how big these mirrors are, and they're very wide? You can see all around you in those mirrors. What you can't see is immediately behind you, and what we have is a backup camera for that. We actually have 3 cameras on this truck. We have a camera up at the top of the drum box, which looks down and back for overall view. We have a camera at the hitch for hitching up, so you can see it very well. There's a stripe on the hitch, there's a stripe on the trailer. You go right in. There's no issue with seeing for hooking up at all. You'll notice that we have a handle on the bed, so we can climb up on the bed safely. And we have another camera on the side for side view. That's more of a convenience because your mirrors on this truck, you can look down the side, but one thing that pickup trucks don't have, you have a convex mirror here, but you also have fender mirrors out here. These fender mirrors are the best thing since sliced bread. Without shifting your eyes sideways to the mirrors, you can just turn, you can be looking straight ahead and see all the way down both sides with these mirrors. So these are your safety factors, this mirror, this mirror. When I'm driving, I normally don't look at my backup camera, I'm just looking at these mirrors. So the truck is very easy to drive. It's really like driving a car. In a lot of senses, a larger car like an Excursion, or vehicle like an Excursion SUV. The difference is in the wheelbase. This is a 230-inch wheelbase, and it's that big because of the size of the condo and the fact that we want to carry a smart car on here. So that's the major difference, is you got a little longer wheelbase, you got to go deeper into your turn before you start it and then you turn. But I can take this anywhere that you could take a larger pickup. It's really not that much bigger than a large pickup. If you had the F550 next to this, you would see the F550 comes to about here on this truck. And we have some pictures on my website of the trucks side by side, and also on Greg Shields' website, rvhaulers.com. You can see pictures of the trucks side by side, pickup trucks and all the Volvo line all together. And you'll see that the biggest difference is in the height. It's not in the width, because the width is the same on a pickup truck with a dually as this truck. What we don't have is the dually wheels sticking out. It's just the same size all the way up, but the road footprint is very similar. This is a little bit longer. It depends on how you configure your truck. You can configure a shorter truck than this, and it'll be closer to a pickup. My Volvo 610 that I had for 10 years, I set up as a daily driver, and it was 6 inches bigger than my F550, 6 inches in length. I could not carry a car on that. I could carry a motorcycle on it. But in this case, I wanted to carry a car, so I built a bigger truck. Or I should say, Greg built me a bigger truck. This truck is a fabulous truck to drive and tow a trailer with. It has 535 horsepower, 1850 pound-feet of torque. You drive through the Rockies, you don't care about anything. You never worry about weight, you never worry about uphill, you never worry about downhill. You just don't think about it anymore. The Jake brakes on these, or the exhaust brakes, you have a stalk on the right next to your steering wheel. You just flip it down through between them. You never touch the service brakes. You never touch that brake pedal. You can go down a 7% 18-mile grade and never touch your brakes, ever. People find that unbelievable. That's how these trucks are designed. They're designed to carry heavy weights. We're actually, with our RVs, even our heavy ones like mine at 28,000 pounds, that's nothing for this truck. This truck is designed to pull 120,000 pounds gross combined. This is a heavy haul truck. A normal truck would be 80,000 pounds combined, truck and trailer. So we're not stressing these trucks at all. They're loafing along. The other thing people think about these trucks, well, they're so big, they're massive. Well, you get used to that very fast. It's easy to drive. it really isn't a whole lot different than driving an F550. It's certainly no different than driving a motorhome. It's easier to drive than a motorhome. So, you know, if you compare it to a motorhome, people say, well, this is so big, I'm going to buy a motorhome. Well, a motorhome's bigger than this and harder to drive because they typically have a longer wheelbase. So the wheelbase is what makes the difference in drivability. That's the only thing you have to relearn to drive one of these trucks, is how to manage the wheelbase, which will take you, I don't know, 6 hours maybe, before it's just ingrained into your body about making the turns. It's really not an issue at all. One of the things about this truck, as compared to the medium duty truck and the super pickups, is this can be the same price or cheaper than those trucks. This truck here, something like this with the body on it all set up for hauling, is going to run you in the $80,000 to $100,000 range at the very top end. That's with all your gadgets, your GPSs, your cameras, that sort of thing. It's going to depend on the particular truck, how many miles it has on it. You can go cheaper than that on some of these trucks. If you build it yourself, you can even go cheaper. If you don't want to turnkey the truck, where you buy it from somebody all set up for you. So if you're looking at, say, $75,000 average on a truck like this, compared to a medium duty truck with the bed and everything on it that can't do half of what this truck can do. It can't carry a car, it's not as comfortable driving around, can't go out and use it as a motorhome to travel in, and that's going to cost you $150,000, right around there, more or less. And then compare that to the super pickups, which can easily run you $75,000 to $80,000. You can see that this has quite a bit more value innately in it. Now, I'm comparing new trucks on the light truck and the medium truck to this used truck. And that brings up a different topic. Well, these trucks typically have 400,000 to 700,000 miles on them when you buy them, and people say, "Oh my God, that's a lot of miles." It's not for these trucks. The mean time to rebuild an engine in a tractor like this is 1 million miles. The truck has been exercised by a fleet or an owner-operator, often an owner-operator. It's well taken care of. The bugs have been worked out in it. And you know, it's just going to service you for a long time. You know, these trucks are designed to run 10,000 or more miles a month. You would never do that in the smaller trucks. They just simply couldn't hold up to that type of service. You know, you'd have to do a lot of work on them. But these trucks are designed from inception to do that type of thing. So the higher miles on the trucks, on these heavy duty trucks, is normal. And not really a concern. You do want to dyno the truck and make sure that there's nothing hidden in the engine, but other than taking normal precautions that you would do to buy any vehicle, there's no issue with the mileage if you keep it under 700,000 miles. After 700,000 miles, you might want to start thinking about the price trade-off versus the miles on the truck, but you're fairly safe with under 700,000 miles. One of the considerations in building a truck for hauling a heavier trailer, or actually any truck for any trailer, is what hitch are you going to put on it. Now, if you're looking at a New Horizons or a heavy trailer like a New Horizons, you're not into the Reese hitches. You need a heavy-duty hitch. The best hitch out there, in my opinion, that's available on the market today is this ET hitch. It's built by Henry Schmidt in Florida. It is designed for a heavy-duty truck and for heavy trailers. Its sweet spot is around 7,500 pounds pin weight. It will take more pin weight than that, but that's the sweet spot. It uses a Binkley head, so that's a state-of-the-art head that has billions of miles on it in commercial towing. So it uses a great head. It has articulation in every direction, which is an important consideration. And it also has anti-chucking features with this parallelogram design. So when the force goes forward and back on this, when you're chucking, that's the chucking motion, this parallelogram converts it to downward force. So you basically have anti-chucking built into this hitch. This hitch tows extremely well. It has a lot more airbag movement up and down than the other comparable hitches on the market. It has far more upward than any other hitch on the market. It's built to be serviced. It's got bearings, bronze bearings in it. It's built to be taken apart. You know, if something wears out, it's easy to fix it. You can see it's very stout. It's built with very heavy materials. It's not going to break. This hitch, a hitch like this, has been in a rear end collision with a bus. A bus hit the back of a trailer, a fifth wheel trailer that had this hitch towing it. It bent this entire framework up, but it did not disconnect from the tow vehicle, and it held the trailer on. The trailer did not detach. It was a heck of a collision. It totaled the trailer that it hit. That proved to me that not only does this look heavy, but it actually functions in a very safe way. This is the hitch I would recommend for anybody with a medium truck or a heavy truck. There is no other hitch that I would put on any of my stuff. Now, this hitch is relatively new. It's been out 4 or 5 years. Prior to that, there were other hitches on the market that I used and other people used, but at this point in time, I would only use this hitch.